Alright, welcome everybody back to Blackphoenix Entertainment. Today we're going to do a vlog about music and concerts and bands and all that fun stuff. So I will see you on the other side of the intro. Alright, so here we are. Let's talk about the top 5 concerts that you have been to. And the reason why I thought about this is I very recently bought tickets to Hailstorm and Evanescence. They are touring together yet again, and it is another chance for me to see Evanescence with the new album. And that is going to be the first band that I talk about as soon as I can pull out of this intersection, because that's how it goes. So Evanescence is a band I have seen multiple times, every iteration of the band, every album. I'm really excited to see the new album concert, The Bitter Truth. My favorite concert from her is definitely Synthesis. Reason being, and I love her music, I love everything about it, but the more stripped down it was, with the full orchestra and songs redone and stuff like that, and hearing that live was absolutely amazing. If you have not heard or seen Amy Lee live, I highly suggest it. If you're a fan of music in general, in my opinion, she is severely underrated as an artist. It's just as her alone as an artist. No, take the band out of it. She writes all that. She writes all the full orchestra behind it, and her vocal range is absolutely amazing. So that is one of the top concerts I've been to for Evanescence. Alright, so the next one is going to be the very first concert I ever went to. We had a local radio station here. What they would do is they would hold big field days, and it would basically be like an 8-hour musical festival in the middle of a field with a bunch of bands and all this stuff. The headliner for this one was Stained. And this is when the Break the Cycle CD came out, and just timing on that, everything was absolutely amazing. Hearing that album live after buying it, literally like the day that it came out. The other cool thing about that concert is I got to meet the band. That was so cool that he actually autographed the inside of my CD, which is why I hold on to physical memorabilia. This is something that you don't get with digital releases and all of that. You don't get to bring a copy of something like the music itself, the CD, tape, album, whatever it is, for the band to physically sign. Like, what are you going to do? Bring your cell phone or iPod or whatever it is, be like, can you sign this for me? Yeah, that's just silly. Anyways, it was, again, them being the headliner, and me not thinking, I'm young, I'm like, hey, whatever, let's just show up and listen to all the music. Yeah. Not all those bands were worth the money, believe me. Some of them, and I'm not shitting on local bands, I'm just saying some of them weren't my thing. Some of them just probably paid to be there, shouldn't have been there, whatever. But Aaron Lewis and Stained, they were amazing. They knocked it out of the park for that. So it's another top concert that I've been to. Alright, next one. And these are in no particular order. This is a band that I never in my life would ever think that I'd be able to see, just because of all the drama that surrounds this band. Guns N' Roses. I have seen Guns N' Roses live in 2011 when they were doing the Chinese Democracy Tour, and I was waiting for that album to come out too, because it's just, depending on your age and all of that, you either saw them, Appetite for Destruction and the Use Your Illusion tours and all of that, but then you never had a chance afterwards, because they just, split up, went on hiatus, all of that. Axl was doing his thing. Axl finally came back to tour after Chinese Democracy finally came out, and I have heard people say he's hit or miss, and I have seen video clips of him hit or miss. He was on this time that we saw him, and I'm so happy that he was. He was absolutely amazing. They played a good mix of new stuff and old stuff and all of that, so I was extremely happy with that. And again, we're talking 10 years ago, so 2011 is 2021 now. You've got to understand that age catches up with people. And Axl, in his day, I would say in his prime, nobody can touch Axl Rose. Like, as far as male vocal range and all of that, and just pure showmanship and all that, no, you're not going to touch Axl Rose in his prime. He was okay in 2011. There were some songs that I could tell that he toned down a little bit just for his voice. And sometimes they'll do that on a long tour, just to, so they can make it through the whole tour. More recently, again, we're talking 10 years later, of course, dude, of course that's going to take its toll. So, if you do have a chance to see Guns N' Roses, because they have the original lineup now, and I would love to see them again, Slash and Axl got back together, I highly suggest it. Go and see if you can see them live. I don't know. They love to tour worldwide overseas, so if you're overseas, hey, great. If you're in the United States, I don't know. You might be out of luck. Okay, so that's 3 down. The next 2 bands are very similar, if not the same exact band. I'm going to go with the side project first, and then I'm going to go with the main band. Jerry Cantrell. When Allison Chains broke up, Jerry Cantrell went on his whole solo thing. Believe this is 2001, possibly 2002. He came out with an album called Degradation Trip. Absolutely amazing. If you're a fan of Allison Chains or grunge or that type of music, go pick up Degradation Trip. I feel like that's a lost album of its time. So Jerry toured for that, and I'm like, I've got to see it. Side note to that, he wasn't headlining his own tour. He went on tour with Nickelback, which, from a business standpoint, absolute smart move by Jerry Cantrell. But he was amazing. He played his own stuff, he played AIC stuff, and he was on. And the band that he had touring with him was spot on. And it was just an amazing time. Jerry, again, is another one of those guys from his time that, for his style and what he does, he's very, very hard to beat. I'm hard-pressed to find a guy that can touch him with his the way that he does his music and melodies and harmonies and things like that. I believe he's probably the master at that. But that was an awesome concert, because then you got Nickelback going right after him. And the fun part about that is Nickelback told the story of touring with Jerry, and they would be backstage looking at all the boxes and the touring boxes and stuff like that. They would all say Allison Chains on them. And he's like, this is surreal. So, and yeah, Nickelback did some shout-outs to Jerry while they were there, and Nickelback knocked it out of the park for that concert, so that was good. It was definitely well worth the trip and the time to get those tickets. Okay then, so with that, you probably guessed what the last band is, and yes, it is Allison Chains. Unfortunately, it is not the original lineup with Lane Staley. That, again, was something that just because of circumstances was not able to see. It is the lineup with their new singer, William Duvall. And it is before they put out the studio album. This is just when they were just touring. And again, this is for that local radio station that did the Big Field Days. So it was a whole day music festival. This one wasn't as bad. This one actually had some real decent bands in it and all of that. And I got to meet a few of the local bands, and that was pretty cool. And on the main stage, main attraction was indeed Allison Chains. It was awesome, and William does a great job singing the songs. And what's good about him is he's got the voice for the songs. It sounds like he should be singing the songs instead of forcing it, but he's not trying to be Lane. He was being him, but because he's such a natural singer and he's good at what he does, he can make it sound like Lane is singing. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, you hear the song, you're like, oh, that sounds really good, but it doesn't sound like Lane. It doesn't sound like someone trying to be Lane. It just sounds like someone who can actually sing the songs correctly. All that being said, it was just, they banged it out. They banged out a ton of songs. So, yeah, and I believe they are still touring with that lineup. So, good for them, man. I mean, these guys are just still knocking it out of the park. I know a lot of people will knock some of the older bands for still going out and still touring. You know what? If they can still do it, and it sounds great, and people can enjoy it and all that, and get to you know, connect with their youth again or whatever, why not? You know, why not let these guys go out and tour and do their stuff and put out albums? If they're still putting out good music, good new stuff, let them. You know, I mean, still, everyone's got to have a job. If you can still have a job after 30 years or whatever it is, making music, and you're still selling out concerts and shit, dude, you're doing something right for sure. So there you go, top 5 concerts I have been to. Go down in the comments, let me know what you guys have seen, what you guys think your top 5 concerts are. If you're a content creator, YouTuber, motovlogger, you want to do a response video to this, by all means, go ahead, go do your own vlog about your top 5 concerts. That would be totally cool, and I would appreciate it. And again, I appreciate all of you. Thank you for all your views and subscribing and all of that. Go down in my description. I got some cool stuff going on down there. I got some discount codes and stuff from sponsors. I would greatly appreciate that as well. And it is now the end of the vlog. You know what that means. It is now time to bid you adieu. So goodbye and good night.